We meet again, my friend. Welcome, welcome. If you're into true crime, but you like to cut past sensationalism and what I like to call fluff, you found the right place. I try not to just fill my show with empty pablum. I want to get to the nitty gritty. That's what I want to do. And there are other channels here on YouTube that do the same thing, and I applaud each and every one of them. I love them. I love this community that we have. Welcome. My name is Gavin. If this is your thing, you found the right place. Glad you're here. Guys, it's gotten worse. I didn't think it could get worse. How could it possibly get worse? Of course, we're talking about Maddie Soto. How could it get worse? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Be sure to put GF in your comment in the live chat. But it got worse. It appears that Hunters Creek Middle School is a breeding ground for people who are abusers of children. I don't get it. A second arrest has been made at Hunters Creek. And you'll have to bear with me as I've got all these different buttons I have to go through. You see this guy right here? This guy. This is the mugshot of a man that is known as Brett Bonini. He's also known as Italo Brett. Now, where did we hear that name before? Oh, I know, from the depositions, from the notice of depositions, and from audio that police recorded interviewing this man in the Madeline Soto case. Bring you over here to little Miss Maddie, right? Well, it turns out that this apparently man-child is now under arrest with federal charges having to do with enticing or coercing little boys to do terrible things. The little boys have no idea are terrible because they're little boys. But for his own gratification, and we're going to get in, you know what? Guys, I want you to forgive me on this one tonight. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty on this. Not the terrible nitty gritty. I just can't, and I don't want to. But we'll get detailed enough. We're going to go over a document that is the criminal complaint against Mr. Bonini. Wrong button, Gavin. There we go. We're going to get into it, but I'm going to skip over quite a bit. I'm going to do lots of yada yadas and blah blahs. And I want you to know that it is not, it's not because I think that we can just yada yada over this. It's just that it's just such terrible stuff. We all get it. Now, this is a public document. I've made it available to my patrons on Patreon. You guys can hop in there if you want to get it. But you can go to Pacer and you can get it there. It's available. Okay. I didn't dig this out of anywhere. It wasn't hard to find. It was on Pacer. So you could do that. I just like to give benefits to those who support me financially. All of you support me, but you know what I mean. So if you want access to this whole 10-page document, head on over to my Patreon. It's linked below. Okay. I never want to just gloss over real quick. Let's do a quick recap. Okay. This is Madeline Soto. Madeline was 13 years old. Madeline was a student at Hunters Creek Middle School. And indeed, Madeline sang in a choir by Mr. Bonini. You can see her on the top row. Looks like she's the fourth from the right. And Mr. Bonini is sitting there at the piano. This image came from his social media. But she goes missing February 26th of last year. Goes missing. The police don't have to search far. the police don't have to search far at all, because in their first interview with a guy named Stephen Stearns, who is Maddie's mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, they discover some disturbing images of Madeline and videos of Madeline and disturbing images of all sorts of other children, 30,000 other images. I mean, there were like 1,700 of Maddie. They put him under arrest, and later, after her body was found on March 1st, I can't believe we're coming up on a year here, he was charged in her murder. Okay, so this is the case we're talking about. I like to do a recap for those of you who are joining for the first time, okay? Now, she's a student at Hunters Creek Middle School. I would like to, before we get into this document, I would like to revisit the interview that police did with Mr. Bonini. And I won't, you know what? I am going to keep his mugshot up, because this is the kind of person, I don't like to give notoriety to criminals that want notoriety. But those that really don't want it, I'm happy. I'm happy to show their faces. Okay. It's a 6-minute and 41-second interview. It happened on February 29th, so just 3 days after Madeline went missing. I should real quick show you that there is a report. Bring you back over here again. This is a report from Detective Bradshaw. If memory serves, let me see. Is it Detective? Yeah, it's Detective Bradshaw. She went and interviewed a bunch of people, and then I've highlighted this. This is the extent of the report that I've been able to find through the records. And remember, there's like 1,500 pages. But this is the interview with Italo Brett, is how he introduces himself. February 29th, 2024, 3:20 p.m. Mr. Brett stated he is Madeline Soto's teacher. He stated Maddie never discussed her home life or personal life with him. She has never disclosed any information about physical, mental, or SA. She never expressed any thoughts or feelings of harming herself. She did not have any changes in her behavior. She appeared to be happy and would participate in class. He described her as normal and helpful. There hasn't been any change with Maddie since the beginning of the school year. Okay, that is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. It's short. Okay, let's take a listen. I'm going to bring up his mug to what he said to police back then.
Today's date is February 29, 2024. The time is 15:20 hours. It's reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Sir, can you state your first name for me, please?
My name is Italo.
Spell it for me.
Italo.
And what's your last name?
Brett. B-R-E-T-T.
Okay. So, Mr. Brett, you are a teacher here at Meadowwoods, or I'm sorry, not Meadowwoods.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So I just had a couple of questions for you.
As always, guys, those dips in volume, those are redactions that happened on the police side, not on my side.
In reference to, assume that she was one of your students. Would that be correct?
She was, yes.
Okay. What period did you have her in?
I had her initially in 6th period for the start of the year. And
Okay.
then she requested to be moved to 3rd period because she was having some issues of not being able to keep up, or rather, she was keeping up, but it was too many behavioral issues around her, so she was getting tired. She requested to move to 3rd.
So not behavioral issues like specifically with her, but with other kids that were in your class that she didn't like.
Correct, yeah.
I got it. Okay. Did she ever talk to you about her home life, anything that was going on with her? Anything like that?
No.
She never said anything to you? Did at any point, did she ever disclose any sort of physical or sexual or mental abuse to you?
No.
Okay. Did she mention anything to you about having any suicidal ideations, ever making any attempts at suicide?
No.
Okay. Did she ever express to you at any time if she had any mental or medical diagnosis?
No.
Okay. Did she discuss taking any medications with you for anything?
No, the only time I've ever seen her take anything was Tylenol.
Okay.
In the front office, Miss Schilling could confirm with that too, because we both kind of saw her because we were trying to figure out how to sure that she was okay to take those.
Okay.
In here, so.
Did you notice any sort of like recent changes in her behavior from the start of the school year until now?
Not really, no. She just seemed happier within the third period class that we were in,
okay.
which is the advanced treble course I have. She seemed happier there. She learned her music really quickly, as with the rest of the girls in that class. She usually is very participatory. She's usually up performing with us. She doesn't miss a concert. She doesn't miss anything. The only thing I guess...
You know, what's really interesting about this, ignoring the fact that we're talking or listening to an alleged abuser of children, little boys, the content of what he's saying, Maddie did have problems with other classes as far as keeping up and so forth. But choir, this is something where apparently she loved it and she kept up with it. And that's something I didn't catch before. She was a little bit of an artistic spirit, I guess.
I could note is like on Friday she was sitting, but that a lot of the girls sit at random times, and that's related to either they have cramps or whatever. So I didn't think that was odd, but you know, she usually is up and participating and active.
She didn't tell you that anything was wrong on Friday?
No.
Okay, she didn't mention to you that anything had been going on or that she was feeling sad or down or anything like that? Okay. And you haven't, in your opinion, you haven't seen her have any sort of signs that she's been depressed since the beginning of the school year at all, or any suicidal?
Like, she's just seemed pretty normal, very, very happy, easy making her friends. You know, I would say she bloomed a lot more in third because she had her friends there. So she was more outspoken and more confident. You know, she's very helpful in my class. She even organized my piano once because it was all papers on top of it. She put it all together, you know, just she wanted to do that. So, you know, that's not noticed anything off about her.
Okay. Now, I don't know how you do your grades or anything like that in your class. Has she declined at all in her participation, like in her grades, anything of that nature that you've noticed?
She maintains pretty steady, and I just grade participation if you're standing and performing and the concerts. So I've not noticed anything of decline. She is there. That the only time, and even on Friday when she was sitting, I think she was still singing with us. She was just sitting down, which was the only thing, you know.
That was different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How about her? You've never overheard her talking to her friends about anything like that at all?
You know, when I send a message, talking points or whatever, she reads them. I've gotten her before me on Monday evening. Wasn't home yet.
Okay.
She was like, "Hey, it's school today," you know, so she knows, you know, she can reach out to me and it's open to do so and anything because that's, you know, she's always involved. So
okay, so since the beginning of the school year, more so happy now that she's in your third period, able to make friends. She's pretty consistent, so nothing out of the ordinary that you can think of off the top of your head that would be alarming or
alarming. The only most alarming thing I've seen was the message that Monday when she was missing. So
okay, and what was that message?
It was, I can read it to you exactly.
Okay.
Talking points. So this was through the app Talking Points. Talking Points is what district and county uses to communicate between teachers.
Okay.
It's faster than emails, just texting. So that's loading. So on Monday, February 26th at 5:36 p.m., she said, "Hi, make it to school today. She hasn't made it home today." Then at 5:53, when I was able to reply back, I said, "Hi, Miss Soto. I don't know. Checking Skyward, she was absent for periods 1 to 5 and period 7. Period 6, I guess, hadn't marked her, but that's not really so strange because sometimes teachers just forget. That happens. So, but yeah, I told her, you know, that's very alarming. Just, you know, please keep me informed." Then I reported it to my teacher mentor. So, and then she reported it to Kelly Armstrong and everyone else in the school. And then I guess and she'd been waiting for the police for a while. So I kind of talked a little bit then. You know, I asked at 6:20 she was home yet, hasn't made it home yet, waiting for the police, and then so I've heard a cop trying to speed things up, but that was it. So then I haven't reached out back because I'm trying to be giving her space. So
okay. Is there anything else you can think of that I haven't asked you that you can recall right now, or anything else you want to tell me?
Nothing comes to mind. I think, you know, her behavior is very consistent in class. You know, she's whenever I see her out of class or whatever, I would say hi. She replies back normally. So.
And she seems like a pretty happy.
Yeah, she just seems pretty happy. It was just, and that's why part of it why it was so shocking that she'd be gone is just how close it happened, how she just, whenever people started saying maybe she ran away, it just didn't seem like it to me that she could be the type to run away.
Okay.
But then, of course, information started coming out about what was happening, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
That's the whole
Okay, awesome. So the time is now 15:26 hours.
So 6-minute interview there. And like I showed you guys before, this was the extent of that report. Okay, let's go over to see what Mr. Bonini did. Mr. Brett. I'm actually sympathetic to the name thing. He's got 4 names. So, yeah, they're I don't know. I'm sympathetic to the confusion of names because I don't go by my given name. But anyway, let's come on over here. All right, United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida. This is a federal crime. United States of America versus Italo Rafael Brett Bonini. Criminal complaint. I, the complainant in this case, state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief on or about the dates of January 12th, 2025. So, a few weeks ago. In the county of Orange, in the Middle District of Florida, the defendant violated 18 United States Code subsection 2422B. You know what I should have done? Well, the description is coercion or enticement of a minor using a facility of interstate commerce. Criminal complaint is based on these facts, okay? And then it keeps on going. This was filed yesterday. Okay, so the detective here is Ruth Marrero. There's a whole bunch of bona fides. I believe that there's probable cause that on January 12th in the Middle District of Florida and elsewhere, Brett Bonini violated this code by enticing a minor using a facility of interstate commerce to engage in, I'm going to just call that SA, for which a person could be charged with a criminal offense. Okay? And then there's all the bona fides. Hey, I've been with Osceola County. I have been with LAPD. I am assigned to the FBI Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force. I've received specialized training. All the stuff. Okay? We're just going to go ahead and skip through that. Participate in various training courses, and I take the affidavit, or I make the affidavit based on my experience and background. I have all these great things to do that make me a great detective. Statutory authority. It is a violation of 18 U.S. Code subsection 2422B to entice a minor using a facility of interstate commerce, such as a computer, to engage in, again, we're going to call that SA, for which a person can be charged with a criminal offense, including the production of CP. And please forgive all of my abbreviations. You guys know why I do it. Okay. I'm going to yada yada a bunch of this, okay? But you guys will get the picture. Probable cause statement, paragraph 7. On February 4th, 2025, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office was contacted by the Maryland State Police in reference to a male suspect later identified as Brett Bonini. On January 18th, 2025, at approximately 8:30 p.m., Maryland State Trooper Stallings, assigned to the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack, was dispatched to the report of a computer crime involving 2 child victims who reside in Aberdeen, Maryland. Trooper Stallings contacted the father of the child victims. AP is what they're calling him. AP explained that child victim 1 created a Discord account while he was staying with his grandparents on January 12th, 2025. This frightens the devil out of me, man. This just scares me. And you know, last year in my area, there was kind of a big kerfuffle with parents, rightly so, but over something that a school district did in one of the cities here in one of these little western Pennsylvania counties. And I was assigned to cover that whole thing. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story. It doesn't really matter. But the superintendent of that school district, a woman who is highly respected, and I mean, while she was definitely in the crosshairs of several parents at the time, also, again, rightly so, I think, uh, she is a person who is sincere and works really hard on behalf of the children. I don't doubt that at all. But she said that the reason that she took the steps that were so controversial was because every year there are children in her school district that would-be predators attempt to lure them away from safety. Our county, I did a whole thing on the interstate system, right? Our county touches Interstate 80, which goes from pretty much the George Washington Bridge. It's not quite, but basically the edge of New Jersey all the way to San Francisco, right? It's a big, long thing. And we're on I-80. Online predators were enticing children in her school district to go to like gas stations and fast food restaurants on the I-80 corridor. And there had been a couple where they had been successful and they took them. So, take care of your kids. We actually live in a safe world. As much as we focus on this stuff, we do live in a safe world. It's a safer world now than it was when I was a kid, but we are hyper focused on this stuff for a very good reason. There are tools that predators can use to lure our children away. And the kids don't even know that just by, creating a Discord account that they now could be victimized by a predator. And that certainly is what seems to have happened in this case. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. There was a little Uncle Gavin there, but let's continue. This is scary, right? Want to make sure that our kids are not doing these kinds of things, or they're doing them with supervision. We know what's going on in their lives. Oh my goodness. Okay, on January 18th, AP, that's the father again, discovered disturbing messages on Child Victim 1's Discord chat. AP reviewed the chats and discovered a conversation in which a Discord user later identified as Brett Bonini was online soliciting AP's 8-year-old son to do this sort of stuff. Okay? He explained that the Discord conversation showed that Brett Bonini engaged in multiple video calls with his child as well. AP spoke to his 8-year-old son, and that poor kid admitted to doing what Bonini had requested him to do. Okay? Trooper Stallings also contacted the mother of the child victims as well as the two child victims, one 8 years old, one 6 years old. The mother of the victims stated that the victims did do what Bonini asked them to do during the Discord video call. Okay? Now, I'm yada-yading, okay? But here's the thing. The suspect, Bonini, promised the two child victims video game currency in exchange for these acts. Trooper Stallings then asked CV1 to describe the physical appearance of the suspect on the video call. Child victim 1 described him as a white male with brown hair, no facial hair. He stated he was 16 and a grown-up. And he has his driver's license, and he was not smiling. And that is just an indication of the innocence of children. At 8 years old, anybody basically older, a teenager and above, is a grown-up, right? He had no idea how old he was. And true, this guy kind of has a baby face. But he was 16. He's grown up. He has a driver's license. He was not smiling. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm not gonna show you this, okay? Again, you can go to Patreon. It's just that I'm going to yada yada a lot of this, okay? Trooper Stallings read through the whole Discord chat and obtained the Discord username and user ID number for the Discord account. Multiple messages from Brett Bonini were observed telling the two young boys to take the computer to a more private spot away from the adults. I'm going to yada yada this. Basically, he's like, I showed you mine, you show me yours, kind of stuff. He asked multiple times. He then offered both child victims 25,000 Robux, which is a currency inside Roblox. This is so scary, man. My kids play Roblox. At a computer in a public spot in our house. Okay, so yeah, and he instructed them to do stuff. Kept on instructing them to do things. He said, "Good job." And then the rest of the Discord chat had similar conversations. And then it says the username and user ID. Okay. On January, let's bring this back. On January 28th, 2025, the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack notified the Hartford County Child Advocacy Center about the victimization of child victims 1 and 2. The investigation was assigned to Trooper Cook. Trooper Cook contacted AP and corroborated all information previously relayed to the initial responding officer. AP provided child victim 1's Discord account username. He verified that he did not observe any CP images or videos within any of CV1's or CV2's devices, which was consistent with their statements that they just did what they did during the live video chat. And I'm not saying that they were like when I said did what they did, it was did what they were coerced to do. That is a better way to say that. These are kiddos. Okay, on January 31st, 2025, Trooper Cook authored a search warrant for the contents of Discord account A Sanchez 1020, which is the one that belongs to Bonini here, which was judicially endorsed and served to Discord on the same day. All events occurred in Hartford County, Maryland. Discord responded to the search warrant, and Trooper Cook reviewed the conversation between CV1 and Brett Bonini. Trooper Cook read through the whole Discord chat and obtained the Discord username and ID, and that this is everything about him, right? Okay. Trooper Cook reviewed multiple messages that Brett Bonini sent to the child victims. It does say that he instructed them to take the computer to a private spot. It does do all of the stuff in return for the 25,000 Robux, and all the stuff that he instructed him to do said, good job. We're just going to yada yada that. And thank you for understanding that. Okay, identification of the subject. On February 4th, 2025, the FBI served an exigent order to Charter Communications, Spectrum, to obtain the subscriber of the IP address used by the suspect's account at the time the child victims were victimized, as well as the subscriber of the IP address used at the time the account was set up. On February 4th, 2025, Charter Communications verified that both of the IPs were subscribed to LB at the this residential address in Orlando. On February 4th, 2025, you know what? I don't want to be unfair. This is Orlando. I went through all of his social media and I'm like, dude, this kid never grew up. He's a child. He's always at Disney World, but it is Orlando. It's something that you would do to, I don't know, entertain yourselves. But still, I mean, I'm just trying to extend a little grace here, right? But still, man, 6 and 8 year olds, what the crap? Uncool. Not uncool. Worse than uncool. It's evil, man. It's evil. Okay. February 4th, an FBI agent conducted a Florida driver's and vehicle identification database check on the address of the premises. This check showed that LB resided at the premises along with Brett Bonini and 2 other significantly older males. Law enforcement queried the suspect Discord's account registered phone number through law enforcement databases, which revealed it was registered through Verizon to Italo Brett Jr., residing at the premises. Law enforcement conducted an open source social media query of Italo Brett Jr. and observed a Facebook account listed to Italo Brett Jr., who indicates on his profile that he resides in Orlando, Florida. By the way, all of these, there are many social media accounts. So far, they're all still public. Law enforcement reviewed a user profile photograph from the Facebook account of Italo Brett Jr. and compared it to the driver's license photograph of Brett Bonini, and both photographs depicted the same person. As set forth above, CV1 indicated that the suspect had a youthful appearance. An FBI agent reviewed the driver's license photograph of Brett Bonini, and although he is 25 years old, he nonetheless has a youthful appearance. Both the other males who reside at the premises are significantly older than Brett Bonini. On February 4th, 2025, the FBI executed a search warrant at the premises. Upon arrival at the premises, FBI agents made contact with the occupants at the door of the residence and asked Brett Bonini and 2 other occupants to exit the residence as the FBI executed a federal search warrant. I bet he was in distress, needing a new change of underwear. He had to have been. Oh my goodness. Concurrent with the execution of the search warrant, FBI Special Agent Michelle Langer and myself conducted a non-custodial interview with Brett Bonini, who was repeatedly informed he was not under arrest, was free to leave, and did not have to speak with agents. Okay, listen. Guys, we can all agree that criminals are stupid, and we can all be grateful to heaven above and the known universe that criminals are so freaking dumb. Oh my goodness. Never. I wish I had an Uncle Gavin camera, like I could go over to Uncle Gavin Cam. I should be able to do that. But listen, guys, don't ever talk to police. Don't ever do it. Don't do it. Now, I'm not talking to you criminals. I'm talking to you law-abiding citizens that I know make up my audience. Criminals, if you're watching, this isn't for you. Just earmuffs a little bit, la, 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 okay? But for the rest of you, don't do it. This is one of the things that law enforcement does. Non-custodial means they have not taken him into custody. He is not under arrest. He is free to leave. And in many cases, that means he does not need to be Mirandized. And that is why they did not place him into custody. They just wanted him to talk. And he is a dillhole and apparently talked. What an idiot. Okay. So during this non-custodial interview, paragraph 15, Brett Bonini confirmed during the interview that he has resided at the premises with his parents since 2001. Brett Bonini also confirmed that Charter Communications provides internet to the premises and that the Wi-Fi is password protected. Brett, what you doing, man? Italo, whatever name you go by. What are you doing? You are an absolute dillhole. What? Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful you are. Okay. Brett Bonini stated that he owned an Apple iPhone, iMac desktop, and an iPad. Brett Bonini further confirmed that the phone number and the Discord account in the CyberTip report belonged to him. Brett Bonini also confirmed that he was the user on the Discord account with the username AdrianBro2#0. However, Brett Bonini stated that he recently deleted his Discord account because he was disgusted with himself. Well, hallelujah. We are all disgusted with you as well. We can join in your disgust. During the interview, but before discussing the details of the allegations or genders of the victims, Brett Bonini stated that he was, quote, not even gay, close quote, and that he, quote, fell into temptation that I should have not. I'm not a sick individual. I made a mistake, close quote. Well, you may not think you're a sick individual, but you are. I mean, allegedly. These are allegations in this document, right? These are allegations. They have not been proven, so we will say allegedly you are a sick individual. Brett Bonini then admitted that he utilized his iMac desktop to communicate with children on Discord. Brett Bonini chose to speak with children because they were, quote, easier to talk to, close quote, and he liked the control aspect of the chat with CV1. Yeah. Beth Meeks. By the way, guys, well, let me finish my thought. Beth Meeks talked to us about this when we were talking about Stephen Stearns. It's often not about sex. Most of the time it's not about sex. It's about control. It's about control. And that might be one of the reasons why he's a teacher. He likes the control. And by the way, there's a level at which that is healthy. Like a person who is naturally a leader will like control of followers, but then it can become unhealthy, right? And even sick and evil. But and Beth is joining me on Monday at 7:30 p.m. We're going to be talking about the Naziah Harris case. Okay. Brett Bonini also stated that he recalled the video chat with Child Victim 1, and he admitted that he asked Child Victim 1 to display this on the screen and that the young boy complied. Based on the above, there is probable cause that on or about January 12th, 2025, in the Middle District of Florida, Brett Bonini violated 18 U.S. Code subsection 2422 B, signed in a weird copy-paste signature, Ruth Marrero, TFO, FBI. And that was signed in front of a United States magistrate judge. Oh my goodness, this whole thing. I'm so angry about it. Let's head on over to what you guys are saying. Let me hide these things real quick. Come on over. Let's stop. Let's go to the top. GF, he seems to prefer boys. Well, that's who his victims were. True. He says that he doesn't. Well, again, it's not about sex. It's about control. Gavin, when Jennifer Soto was being, When Jennifer Soto was being interviewed by police right before Madeline Soto's body was found, Jennifer Soto told the police that she loved to sing and had a beautiful voice. That was the only nice thing Jennifer Soto said about Maddie. I remember that. I remember that. She had very little to say about her daughter other than the medication she was on and so forth, but she did say that she had a beautiful voice. And of course that struck the detectives and all of us as crazy. Wonder if he deleted his Discord account. This happened to Maddie. If so, Maddie may have saved a lot more kids, unfortunately, from her death. Helen, I'm sorry, I'm not following. I know that we all type with our thumbs, so I wonder if he deleted his Discord account. This happened to Maddie. If so, Maddie may have saved a lot more kids. Unfortunately, I'm not following the logic in your statement, but thank you for your comment. It's probably me. I'm sorry. Wonder why Jen has his personal number to text him. It looks like she didn't. It looks like there was an app. And maybe, like, again, extending a little grace here, maybe Jen knew that she loved to sing, and that was the teacher that was the one that impacted her daughter the most. I know that I'm extending a lot here, but with our, especially our older daughters, if something was going on at the high school, of course they've long since graduated, but if there was something going on at the high school, and I needed to reach out to a teacher, with our oldest daughter, there were two that I would reach out to, and with our second oldest daughter, there was one. So it could just be that, or I don't know, Holly. Brenda, Gavin read this over this morning on your Patreon page. Well, I'm glad you did. Tony says he looks like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. Oh my goodness. It has been, I don't even think I've actually ever seen Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, I was alive in the 80s. I saw the video cover a lot. So I will just have to take your word for it. Another dill hole for sure. Black Knight says, yeah, he does look like the Boog. Let's see. Jess also read it this morning from Patreon. It's gross, yeah. Robin Bernardi, Gavin, my husband is a special ed teacher, and through the years he has learned of past coworkers who had CSAM and were prosecuted. He was absolutely shocked. These men gave no signs of what they were into. Yeah, that's really the scary thing, is that I commented on Twitter today. This is like Dexter working in the homicide unit, right? It's the perfect, school is a perfect place for somebody with these inclinations to work. You're around children all day. I right now am investigating something happening in a neighboring county at a school. In this case, it is a female teacher, but yeah, it seems to me that she had some inclinations for many years. So, yeah. Let's see. Demon Hugger. Yeah, there was a child who was nearly abducted in Venango County, Pennsylvania, in Oil City. Yeah. Derek Clues, Gavin, a bit off topic, but I was listening to another podcast. Ooh, hang on just a second. Hey, this is a story that I covered for my publication today. I wrote this breaking news story, which reminds me, yesterday in my live stream, I asked if anybody was interested in writing for Crime Cod, my true crime website. Let me get over to it real quick. Just click on Crime Cod right here. And several of you reached out, but I haven't had the time to respond yet. I will. I'll probably do it in a group email, and we can discuss moving forward with that, okay? But where was I? Yeah, okay, that just reminded me. Bringing back to Mr. Bonini. Going back over here. Okay, Dara Clues says, actually, Dara, are you of Dutch descent? Is it close? It doesn't matter. Anyway, Gavin, a bit off topic, but I was listening to another podcast and they brought up possibility Maddie may have been misdiagnosed and her symptoms were from being abused. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how would you react? How would any of us react mentally if you had to go through what little Miss Maddie had to go through for at least 5 years of her life? Yeah, I bet misdiagnosis is a possibility for sure. Crazy. Black Knight says, I just want to cry, bawl my eyes out. Yeah, these poor little boys. Goodness. Okay, scrolling. We might be able to end. Oh, it's not all that early. It's been 45 minutes, but yeah, he is a dill hole, Limer. Faux show. Mel, it's my favorite insult. I love it. I got it from my photo teacher, but you guys told me that it came from Beavis and Butthead, which I wasn't cool enough to watch. I just didn't get it back in the day. Yes, Uncle Gavin does give pretty darn good advice. I do my best when Uncle Gavin comes out. I need a Uncle Cam, like an Uncle Gavin cam, right? Then join me over on the Uncle Gavin cam. I definitely need that. I need to figure out how to get that done. That'd be hilarious. Okay. Just refreshed. Limer Gavin, it may be that he isn't gay, but they were victims of our opportunity. He found them somehow, probably on Roblox, victimized them because they were the ones he found. It was all about control. That's the way it seems to be. Helen says he got interviewed by police about Maddie. He was doing this on Discord to other kids. I believed he deleted his Discord because he got scared he might get caught, and he did. That's what I meant. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, thanks, Helen. Yeah, I wonder if, the police would have looked at his at stuff before. So far, this is the only complaint that I can see against him. It's possible that this is his actual first time offense. And if it is, I don't think it's likely, but if it is his first offense, I am grateful that he was caught. I'm very sorry for those little boys. I'm grateful that they talked to their parents, that they told the truth, because that's got to be really hard. Ages 6 and 8, you're always teetering on the, am I going to be in trouble here? It's really funny. We've got an 11-year-old that is so afraid of being in trouble, and I'm too old. I'm too old to get our kids in trouble like I was when I was a young man. I'm just tired. So it's more about reasoning with him, man. No, you're not in trouble, buddy, but let me talk to you about why what you did was wrong, and let's figure out, Anyway, these poor little kids were probably worried about getting in trouble, and they were really brave and terrific to talk to their parents and to police about that. It was awesome. We should call this day CV1 and CV2 day. They should be our national heroes because of what they did to catch this guy. They did it. Not downplaying awesome work by police too, but they are our heroes here. Okay. Mel says, Gavin, I'm a poet. I have no idea if I'd be good enough to join your project. Well, reach out. In fact, I think maybe you did, Mel. I can't remember, but I'll be getting back to everybody for sure. All right, guys, that is all I'm going to do today. But tomorrow, we are remaining on the Maddie Soto case. Okay? Tomorrow, oh my goodness. Wow. Please excuse me. That was a sneeze. Tomorrow we're going over some more of the motions that came out in the Madeline Soto case. We might be listening to some audio, but we definitely will be going over documents. And then on Monday, we're going back around to the Neziah Harris case. Going to be talking to Beth Meeks about that. She is awesome. If you guys were not around for the first time she joined me, just take my word for it. She is rad, and you're going to love her. Okay. Before we go, let's just do a quick old plug. Definitely check out Crime Cod. Sign up for the newsletter by going here. If you are on my website, gavinfish.com, you can always go up to this little fishy, and that will take you to the fish tank, where about 3,500 of us are talking about true crime cases. Pretty terrific. I love that crowd in there. I cleaned up this main image. I didn't like all the droopy things coming off the fish. AI is a terrific tool, but I cleaned that up a little bit. I think it looks a little better. But join us over there on the fish tank. And then Maddie's case, by the way, if you go to cases and just click on Maddie's picture, you will find a treasure trove of documents, recordings, photographs, videos, just so much. So head on over there if you are into, if you want your true crime fix. Okay. With that, guys, I'll bid you adieu. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Join me tomorrow when we continue our coverage of the Madeline Soto case. And until then, I bid you adieu. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.